Right, I hope you guys can see me and you haven't got the ring light. Guys, I hope you can see me properly. Okay, guys, we're here. Right, so today what are we talking about? What are we doing? I have no idea. So, hi guys, thanks for joining me again. Luna's just joining me now. Come here. Right on cue. Right on cue. Yeah, so thanks for joining me. Today I want to talk to you about overcoming negative thoughts and emotions. So basically just getting rid of those when they're not serving you. Can you chill now? Oh, you've got your ball. She always wants to play at the wrong times, honestly. So today, guys, we are talking about negative thoughts and emotions and basically how to overcome them. So for me, I deal with this quite a lot. I have done over my life, and a lot of my life I actually let it take control and choose which path I went on. So I decided one day that I needed to take control of this and not let it rule my life. I'm gonna sort of talk you through how I sort of process that sort of thing. Anyway, before we get stuck in, guys, I have a favour to ask you. If you found my content useful up until now, if you find this video useful, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. The reason I ask you this is because I want to help as many people out there as possible. And the more subscribers I have, the more exposure my videos will get to the wider world. And I'll be able to help more people that are struggling with their mental health and aren't really sure how to battle it. By subscribing to my channel, you're going to be helping other people to find my content, and ultimately you're helping them to help themselves. So if you found my content useful, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below and hit the bell so you get the notifications when I post up a new video. Just so you guys are aware, I post up a new video every 2 weeks. And if you have any suggestions or any questions or anything that you want to throw at me, please do. The comments are always open, so please start the discussions. So here we go. Let's talk negative emotions and negative thoughts and how to combat them. Isn't it just the worst when you have all these negative thoughts going through your head and they're basically preparing you for the worst case scenario? 9 times out of 10, it's never even going to happen. And you're just consumed by it, and your emotions get sort of pulled into it as well, and then all of a sudden you're reacting, you're flipping off about, you know, God knows what, and you're making your life a living hell because you're allowing those negative thoughts and emotions to control your life. So today we're going to talk you around the ways that I have managed to battle with this and how I've managed to sort of silence the negative thoughts, or at least work with them, and understand when these negative thoughts are really bad negative thoughts or when they're constructive negative thoughts. So there's different ways of looking at this, and you have to understand your sort of inner critic really to be able to sort of delve deeper into yourself with this one. I'm going to break down how this process really works, okay? Okay, so it starts with the thought. The thought then triggers an emotion and a feeling. So it could be excitement, it could be happiness, it could be sadness, it could be anger. And then once that tips over, it will then result in an action. So it could be you reacting to something, it could be you putting something in place, it could be you setting up plans to go on holiday or something like that. So these things, they happen together, they come up in a nice little package together. So you have to work with each separate entity of this in order to really control those negative thoughts. So I'm going to put a scenario out here, 2 scenarios, which is sort of a baseline, and then I've got the delved in negative thoughts. So here we go. So if I was to have a thought that I wanted to go on holiday, and my emotion for that would be excitement, happiness. I really want to go on holiday. I really want to go to that place. That looks incredible. You know, you get excited, right? And then The action is to ultimately plan that trip, start saving the money, start putting things in place so that you can make this thing happen. Okay, so you then get to the holiday and you have a great time and fantastic. It's all gone to plan and it's all brilliant. Okay, so that's scenario one. So now we're going to add in that negative, okay, to this scenario. So I've had a thought. I want to go on holiday. I've seen this place I want to go to and it looks incredible. It looks amazing. It ticks all the boxes and I want to book it, okay. I've thought about it. I'm now getting emotional because, you know, I'm happy about it, I'm excited about it, I'm also a little bit anxious about it. Now the anxiousness has tipped over and my negative thoughts have started running and it's telling me, oh, well, you have to go to a terminal, you're going to have to go on a plane, there's going to be lots of people there, it's going to be crowded. Jay, you don't like crowded places, this isn't something you want to do. Oh God, then you look at the price tag, wow, that's expensive, you can't afford that, that's just ridiculous. You couldn't even do a pay plan because that is just out of the question. You're never going to make this happen, so might as well give up while you're ahead. And then I don't book the holiday. Because I've caved. I've listened to those negative thoughts and it's made me go, yeah, that kind of sounds really scary, so I'm going to stay at home because it's a lot safer here. And it's consumed me. It's taken over my ambition, my excitement, my happiness, everything that's in me that says I want to do something, I want to do this. But then all my negative thoughts flood in and then taint that idea and ultimately talk me out of it and stop me from doing it. And it's heartbreaking really because I've lost out on a lot of opportunities just because I've gone, no, those negative thoughts are too there, you know, and it's in your head all the time and it's always bringing you down. And one day I just thought, I can't be doing with this, I can't be doing with all these negative thoughts. I have to understand why I'm having these negative thoughts and I have to understand why I can't live to my fullest because of these thoughts, you know. It was just it's a real horrible feeling because you feel like you're letting yourself down. You're not letting anybody else down, you're just letting yourself down. And that's how I felt. I felt completely let down by myself, which is really horrible. It's really horrible because you need to make it up to yourself, which is what I've done. So anyway, let me scroll down the page so I can see what's next. So anyway, that was the basic view of how negative thoughts can impact a scenario. It can be, you know, an amazing situation if those negative thoughts weren't in there. So you can understand that those negative thoughts can control a situation. So I'm going to tell you now how to control those negative thoughts and negative emotions so that you can actually live what you want to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be sitting home and going, oh, I wish I did that. Because it's not the things that you don't do, it's not the things that you do that you regret. Generally, it's going to be the things that you don't do that you regret. It's usually you and your negative thoughts that's steering you away from possibly the most amazing experiences in your life. So it's a real poignant topic, guys. We need to be talking about this more because people are surrounded by this and all of us have our own inner demons and we all have an inner critic that will eat away at us and stop us from doing the things that we want to do. So I'm going to talk you through it anyway, how I do it, and hopefully that will help you. Anyway, here we go. So to identify a negative thought, you need to take time to sit with yourself and sit with your thoughts and learn the patterns to your thought processing. So when you're, in the shower or you're driving to work or, when you're alone and you're in that moment where your thoughts are racing and you're thinking about what's going on around you and if you've got a life change as well, when something crazy happens, like, I don't know, somebody becomes ill or, that was a really horrible one to start with, but still, if somebody, you know, there's a relationship breakdown or some, you know, a career change, job change, like all of these crazy things that happen in life. When this happens, we usually have a lot of thoughts that are going through our minds, and there's a lot of processing that has to happen with these changes. And so our minds are on fire. They're just kind of, you know, throwing off all of these different ideas, these different scenarios, trying to prepare us for the change that's coming. And at this point, it's so important that we sit with ourselves. Just sit with ourselves. Just sit, listen. Just listen to what's going on, you know, listen to the thoughts that are coming and going, and understand where these are coming from, and if they are constructive, and if they're not. You need to understand that these thoughts kind of come in a mash of everything else that's happening as well. So you'll have all these thoughts about all the practical thoughts that you have, you know, oh, okay, well, if this happens, then I need to get X, Y, and Z sorted. You know, that's a rational thought, let's say. But then you get all these negative thoughts that come in there and say, well, if something happens with X, then you can't do Y. So then you can't do Z. And then it will start flowing from there. So take time to listen to yourself in that moment and listen to the thoughts that are happening. And you'll start to understand what are your negative thoughts and what are your constructive negative thoughts. Within this time, you also want to make sure that you're looking for the happier ones as well. So you're looking at all of your thoughts in the process, not just the negative ones here. So in this moment where you're either in the shower, you're in the car, you're laying in bed, wherever you are, where you can just be with yourself and just sit with yourself. The best thing for you to do here is kind of differentiate between the thoughts that you're having and understand which ones are rational, negative thoughts, and which ones are not so rational. And you can kind of decipher that by the tone that is in your mind when you're thinking these thoughts. And if there's, you know, a negative thought that crops up, but actually it's probably a little bit constructive. It could be, oh, okay, well, you need to make sure that this happens before that happens, because if you don't, then you're going to end up with a whole massive problem over here. Now, that's just preparation. So that's just making sure that you have not an escape route, but you have a backup plan. So if anything does go wrong, then you know that this is what's going to happen. So your mind is ultimately looking for a solution to a problem which could arise during that issue, that change in your life, or whatever is happening within that sort of process. Okay, so that's a constructive negative thought. So you're preparing. Now let's look at a negative thought. So this is not constructive. This is not rational. Okay, so this is, you're not good enough. You don't know, you can't do that. You can't do that because you're just not good enough. Oh yeah, but she's better than you. So yeah, probably not worth giving it a go really, because she's definitely going to win. So it's just not worth it. It could be, oh, I just don't feel confident. I just don't feel confident enough. I can't do this. I just can't. There's so many of these. I mean, I can't really reel them off at the top of my head because I try to put them in the bin. But ultimately, these negative thoughts are horrible thoughts that you say about yourself, about your ability to do something. It could just be, you know, just going to the shop, but you're sitting there going, yeah, but you might say somebody you know, like, that's a negative thought that is not constructive, it's not helpful. So it's kind of weighing the balance and trying to work out the negatives and trying to understand which side of the spectrum that they are on. If there is a solution in that negative thought process, it's likely to be a helpful negative thought. However, if it doesn't have a solution and it's just beating you down, that's negative through and through. It's just, there's no other way to put it. It's just negative through and through. So what do we do with these? we put them in the bin. We chuck them in the bin and we forget about them. We move on. We focus on the constructive negatives and work with those, and work with the rest of the positive as well, because ultimately there's usually a lot more positive than there is negative. We just choose to see the negatives because it's harder to deal with, right? That's basically the only reason. Anyway. Bonus tip, guys. So this bonus tip is awesome. I do this, right, when I just need to get out of here. I just need to get out of here and I need just a moment for myself, okay? So this could be anywhere. I could just need to take myself away and just go to a, you know, public restroom or something and just go and sit in there. Or it could just be that I need it at home. I might just spend a couple of minutes upstairs on the bed and just close my eyes and chill. But this is my process to get rid of those negative thoughts in the moment. When I get these negative thoughts, I just chuck them in the bin. I will sit down and I will process what I've just been thinking to myself. And if that negative thought isn't helpful to me, I will basically ball it up in my head. I'm visualising it, okay? I'm balling it up in my head like a bit of paper, and I'm hoiking it into the bin. I'm just chucking it, slam dunking it into the bin. Because ultimately it's not serving me. It's not doing anything for me that that is going to help me, that is going to push me forward, that is going to make me a better person. So if I just see it and separate it from everything else that makes me and helps me be a better person, I can just slam dunk that in the bin and it's gone. So visualise yourselves, guys, when you get these thoughts in your head, visualise yourselves screwing it up like a bit of paper and slam dunking it in the bin. And forget about it. Move on. And when it happens again, do the same thing. Slam dunk it. You don't need that shit in your life, right? And then move on. Look at the positives and look at the constructive negatives. And yeah, it helps. I don't know about you guys. I'm a visual person. So, you know, you can give it a go. And if it works, let me know. Because it's, you know, it works for me. It works for me. So we've got the negative thoughts managed. We now need to delve into the emotions. Now, negative emotions happen all at once. They usually happen in heated moments where, I don't know, it could be family members are kicking off and something's happened and everybody's screaming at each other or whatever. It could just be, you know, your partners and you're just disagreeing on something, and then all of a sudden you react and you flip out and, oh shit, now it's all gone wrong and now you're split up and you're moving out. It's shit like that, guys. It's shit like that. It's such a hard one to process. But with practice, you can process it and you can deal with it. So with this one, guys, it is really, really quite simple. It is. But you know what? I think this one, it probably took me, I don't know, maybe 10 years to fully master and to fully appreciate why we do this. So this one, guys, I'm really hoping that you're gonna latch onto this one, because it's really, really simple. Really simple. So when you're dealing with your emotions, guys, and you're in a heated situation and you find yourself consumed by all this emotion and you're about to erupt, you're about to react, you're about to flip out and throw a saucepan or something, you know, you're about to create a storm. This is what I want you to do. Sit still. Don't say any words. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. And just sit. Feels so much better. So much better. It's crazy, but it works, guys. It fucking works, I tell you. Right, so essentially, don't react. Just do not react. I'm going to repeat it, guys. Do not react. Take a step back. Walk away from the situation. You can say to them, I cannot deal with this right now. I will talk to you about this when we can calm down. And you can walk away. You don't have to say anything more than that. They will accept that. If they don't, well then that's their problem. don't react, keep walking. Keep walking until you find a safe space where you can sit with yourself and you can just sit and breathe and process and understand what's happened. Then build your reaction from there, because ultimately if you're in the heat of the moment and everything's flying, everything's going on, and then you react, you're going to hurt people, you're going to hurt yourself, you're going to hurt the situation, and it's all going to be a complete fucking mess. So ultimately, my advice to you here is walk away. Find a nice little nesty spot that you can sit in and just chill for a moment and take those deep breaths. So guys, when you do this, I'm going to talk you through the process so that it's, you know, it is what it is. Like I say, it's literally sit, take a few deep breaths, calm yourself down, rationalise your thoughts. But let me talk you through it because it might help. I don't know. It might help. So when you've found a nice little nesty hole somewhere where you can go and sit down and just be by yourself, if that's a toilet cubicle or that's a, you know, a contemplation room, we have one of those at work. So if you have some kind of space where you can get away from everyone, even if it's in the car, just anywhere where you can just be on your own, okay? I want you to sit there, just sit. If it's in your car, make sure you go and park up somewhere and just sit. Just sit. Then I need you to take 5 deep breaths. Slow deep breaths. And just sit. But you slowly bring it back down to your breathing. And just feel your breathing. And even if it helps to count your breathing, count your breathing. But use this moment just to be with yourself. Anything you would have done in that situation beforehand would have probably caused an issue. So you're now pulling yourself out of that situation and you're bringing yourself back to yourself. You're centering yourself and making yourself feel more in control of the situation so that you can be in control of your emotions and hold yourself calmly whilst you address the situation. So the breaths that I talked about, guys, that's basically bringing your heart rate down. So ultimately with that breath, it's going to bring your heart rate down, which is ultimately going to bring you down. It's going to make you feel a lot calmer, a lot more together, a lot more rational, because your thought process when you're off on one is not rational. You're instantly reacting. You're not filtering what you're saying, and you generally say things that you don't mean. So I'm not saying everyone's like this, but you know, it generally, this is what happens when you get to that point where you're irrational. So you're not going to have that thought process. So this process here with the deep breaths is calming your heart rate, it's calming you down, it's making you get level-headed so that you can process what's happening. Once you get to a point with those breaths and you're starting to feel the tension relieve itself, if you're feeling a bit calmer and just a bit more placid, a lot easier to listen to your thoughts, this is the time now where you can really delve into those thoughts of what's happened and what's been happening in front of you that you so badly needed to react to. But guys, that is it. I mean, it's probably going to be a long one this time around. I don't even know. But if you've found this video useful, as always, please subscribe to my channel. I will be posting up more videos like this, as well as answering your questions and just generally talking to people about mental health and everything else. So if you guys want to be involved with any of my videos, make sure you comment down below. Make sure you send me your messages on Instagram and Facebook. Links are down below. And like I say, just get in touch, talk to me, let me know what's going on in your lives, and let me know if there's anything that I can help you with. I am ultimately everybody's agony aunt, and I'm very good at helping with other people's situations. So if you do have a situation, dilemma that you are struggling with, let me know, because I might be able to help you battle it. Okay, so yeah, get in touch, guys, get in touch. But that is it for this week, guys. I will be posting up another video in 2 weeks time. 2 weeks time, and I'm not sure what that's going to be about yet. I'm still going through God knows how many video titles that I want to do, or the topics that I want to do, so I have no idea what the next video is going to be about. But if you've got any suggestions, again, let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys real soon. You take care of yourselves. Goodbye.